As the vibes continues right here on the inside, welcome back to the SZB radio show here live. It's 106 liveradio.com, the only place where excitement meets diversity 24/7, and that's a guarantee. Of course, Symphony is in the building.
Still here on a Wednesday.
Feels good Wednesday.
Yes.
Good music, good vibe.
Wine down Wednesday.
Wine down Wednesday. And of course we have our next very special guest in the building, Mr. Alexander Pezo. He just launched a book. It's called Polish Your Appearance. Yes. Fellas, you know, and I always wonder why people do the things they do, why they dress the way they dress, you know, sagging pants and all this stuff. Why just can just look decent? Yeah. And we have someone here today going to set the example, who's going to set the trend. He's going to make it happen. Mr. Pezo, welcome to the SZB show here live on 106liveradio.com, sir.
Appreciate you having, man.
How you feeling today, man?
Doing great.
You looking sharp as usual?
I just try and do what I do, man.
You're trying.
Just keep it real simple. Well, you know, listen, man, I just think you can't say you're writing a book on polish your appearance when you're not polished.
Right.
Absolutely. You are your brand.
Yeah, you are your brand.
So I'll tell you what, man, for the folks who don't know who is Mr. Alexander Pezo, tell us more about yourself.
I mean, I started out in the game, man, back in 2002. I branded Alexander Pezo. Going back further than that, I had a place called Amazing Shirts back when I was in college. I was slinging T-shirts, man, out of a shed.
2002 to now, how has it been for you?
Well, anytime you're in the fashion game, man, it's very, very financial driven. So, you know, you're going to always have some peaks and valleys. So what I always say is if you're going to get in the game, you got to be willing to have some stick-to-itness. Absolutely. Because most brands out here that are successful, we see them now, but they may have started 30 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like when you see that T-shirt since, 1976, and we just heard about them in 2006. Yeah. It takes time.
It takes time.
Absolutely.
And the ones that are very successful are the ones that really do take time, because you know what? We've seen a lot of businesses that are fast start, and before you know it, they disappeared.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've seen this in the entertainment business. We've seen this in online radio stations.
Always use the phrase that the Great Wall of China wasn't built in one day. Right. You know, it took time. It took a lot of tears and, a lot more. But, that's the same thing with entrepreneurship, right. Especially, like you said, in the fashion business.
Yep.
But treading into that, what made you get into fashion? Because not everybody, fashion doesn't come easy for everybody.
True.
Like, some people really struggle about,
how to put things together.
Right. So what drove you into fashion?
My start came with just doing graphic tees.
Yeah.
That was my first start, so I started off with the graphic tees. And I said, you have to have an end game. Yep. So my end game was to start at point A to eventually get to point Z. So then I went off to college, played college basketball, played a little bit of baseball. But it's really tough, Symphony, to tell the bros, hey, man, I want to get into fashion.
Right. Because it's like,
right. And this is our point guard.
Right.
Right. I don't know if I want to take directions from this guy.
Right.
like in every business, we know there are a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you faced in getting your brand out there?
Well, the first thing is, keep in mind, coming up in the time of the 80s and 90s, everything was urban driven. Yeah. So for me, when I put together Alexander Pezo, I wanted to put together something that was clean, but something that was diversity driven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, in the community or in the hood, we tend to just patronize a lot of designers that are outside of our community
that don't care about us.
Tell me about it, man. And this is something that Symphony and I, we talk about here on the radio. Our guest comes in here, we make references to a lot of this stuff.
Right.
We tend to support the folks who already are established, and we forget the guys that who are accessible to us in our backyards.
But even in the fashion world, I feel like we support people that don't like black people. If we're going to based on community, and they've made statements very clear that they don't like, but our community is so big on I need the biggest brand. So I agree.
How can you change that, man?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go away from fashion and let me talk to you about something else. So we tend to consume more and own less.
Yeah.
In the white community, in the Jewish community, the dollar in their community, in the Jewish community, it stays in their community 3 to 4 days.
Yep.
In the Caucasian community, it stays like a day. Mm-hmm. In our community, it stays like 6 hours. So we're a consumer of a lot of things, but owners of nothing. When I'm not just your average designer.
Right.
Design is one phase of my brand. But I like to consider myself a fashion educator, because I know how to use fashion to position and leverage myself for other opportunities and other situations.
Hence why you named your book "Polish Your Appearance."
Polish your appearance.
Like right on point.
I mean, it's a really catchy phrase. That I think a lot of people will be paying attention to, because again, sometimes you think you look dope, you look fashionable, you look beautiful, you look sexy, you look professional, but there is still ways, like we discussed earlier, you can kind of polish it up a little bit.
The reason I called it Polish Your Appearance is because it starts with the inner.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, you can look dope on the outside but be very broken and empty.
Oh yeah.
And what I find is a lot of people camouflage how they truly feel about themselves by either getting the latest, women getting the latest, hairdo or the latest makeup. Men, it's normally having the latest Jordans or whatever it may be, that whatever your drink of the day or cup of tea is, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That flavor of the day, so to speak. I'm just real big on create your own lane, but understand what polish your appearance is, because it starts with that inner.
Absolutely.
It's all about how you're selling your platform.
Right.
And I'm just a firm believer. I sell myself, because I've come from what I'm teaching. I'm that kid that comes from the inner city that my mom used to get 2 food stamps, go down to the corner store, get a loaf of white bread and $1 worth of bologna.
Hello.
And when we get home,
fry that little bologna.
we gonna cut it. We gonna fry it up. And if you're lucky, we had a piece of that block cheese. We gonna throw in the middle.
Right.
And watch it fold up.
Right.
I'm not that guy that's coming from the outside looking in. I'm coming from the inside
looking out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In my book, I have what I refer to as the 5 Ps.
Right.
Are you familiar with the 5 Ps? It's perfect practice prevents poor performance.
Hold on. Say that over one more time. Slow.
Perfect practice prevents poor performance.
Perfect practice prevents poor performance.
Correct.
I like this.
Right.
It's easier to relate to somebody that I know, like, you've been where I am. You're not just saying this just for the heck of it or just because you want my money. Like, I've been where you are, and hey, this is a tool, a blueprint for you to, make it happen, polish your appearance.
How can the folks get access to you and find your books and your designs and all of the good stuff, man?
Yeah, great question. So actually, I have 2 separate books. So the first book is Polish Your Appearance. It's a 6-chapter book. Then I have a 30-day men's devotional. I say men's, but it's a devotional for men and women.
Right.
Because let's face it, with what you're doing with radio, with what we do in our personal life, we're always dealing with issues that sometimes we don't need conversation. We need meditation.
Absolutely.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer meditation solves a lot more than just conversation.
Right.
So I put together the 30-day men's devotional to go in conjunction with the book. And then our third phase of this is we have a 4-part documentary, Polish Your Appearance, that's coming out that we're going to take into the school systems.
Nice.
So we're going to have a 4-part documentary that they can stream into the schools.
Nice.
And eventually our goal is to have a platform called PYA, Polish Your Appearance Academy.
I love that.
This is good for a round of applause, Symphony. What do you think?
Absolutely. You already know that.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
over here clapping myself.
Oh yeah.
Now, I do see that it says Volume 1.
Absolutely.
So can we look forward to...
Great observation.
Oh, yeah. Once I saw that, I was like, I'm going to make sure So we can look forward to...
Absolutely.
Multiple volumes.
To go with that.
Well, again, Symphony, the reason I did 6 chapters because we're incomplete.
Absolutely.
And the reason I put Volume 1, it gives me an opportunity to continue to build on what's already been started.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. You are definitely polished in every angle, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That,
how can the folks follow you?
It's real simple. Alexander Pezo _ on IG. Alexander Pezo _ on Twitter. You can find me at Alexander Pezo on Facebook. And then, anywhere else. Alexander Pezo, that's the website as well.
AlexanderPezo.com.
AlexanderPezo.com. Yes, sir.
There you have it, man. I want to thank you so much for stopping by here on the SZB radio show. Congratulations to you.
Absolutely.
On the book, the documentary, the fashion design. Of course, one of the big things I take away here is practice. Tell me again.
5 Ps.
The 5 Ps. And I'm holding this up because this is the last magazine I was just featured on for the month of May.
Okay.
Perfect practice prevents poor performance.
Perfect practice prevents poor performance. Make sure you keep it locked to 106liveradio.com because I'm going to keep practicing every day.
There you go, Ezzy. There you go.
And if you want to know it, Ezzy, just get the book. It's in there.
Absolutely. I'm going to give me a copy right now. Of course, man. Once again, I want to thank you so much. And of course, big shout outs to Tell All Inc., part of the Tell All Inc. family. Mr. Pezo, you're very impressive.
Absolutely.
I think that was a great conversation. Symphony, any final words, any final thoughts?
I just love like the both sides because he, I could tell like he done, been in the trenches, but he's so polished. And it's like, yeah, like I feel you. Like I've been there. Let me tell you how to get here.
Right.
I'm like, heck yeah, I'll hop on that train any day. Like, yeah, teach me.
Right.
They teach me. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We all have mentors, and that's my chapter 4. I'm a firm believer if you're a young black male and you don't have a mentor, you're doing yourself a disservice.
So are you offering?
I'm always open to mentor. Yeah, I'm always. But what I've learned with this generation is a lot of parents, they don't want to give it to their kids because they don't know how. Yeah. But their pride gets in the way of allowing someone else to mentor them. Yep. So now you're holding them back in two different regards.
Absolutely. Well, hey, hit him up.
Hey, this is good stuff. Hit him up. Alexander Pezo.
My man.
All social medias, alexanderpezo.com. It's been a pleasure, bro.
Absolutely.
My pleasure as well.
Keep it locked. This is theezzybshow 106liveradio.com. Back into some music.
Yeah, what you got, Ezzy?
On the block, you know what I'm saying? Yo, still, they came around looking for you the other day. Word, bust it.